Welcome to webinar, everyone. I am Joni Zander. I am your team leader with Team Essentially Healed. And tonight we are talking about how you can increase your energy and lose the extra weight. This is a topic that I've kind of avoided, but it's one that is really good to know about. So energy and weight are very, very closely related. Extra weight, while it's not easy to shed, really does weigh you down in so many ways and decreases your overall energy. So first we'll talk about weight and then we'll talk about energy. So we've all heard the equation, calories in minus calories out equals weight up or down. Calories are not the problem though. We all need calories. A calorie is literally a unit of energy, or how much energy your body can get from eating or drinking the thing. And so calories are not bad. Calories are very necessary. Now, we've all learned to view food in lots of ways, as a way to connect us with others, as a way to show love, as an experience, or simply as comfort. You know, comfort food is a really common thing. In fact, emotional eating is probably the #1 reason people struggle with their weight. So many of us eat not because we're hungry, but because we are emotional, that we're hungry for something, some connection with somebody, or lots of different reasons. And so we end up eating more than we need. And I get it, we're all busy and we need our food to be easy as well. But if you look at a package of processed food and it is shouting limited calories at you, you know, you've seen those packages, right? Only 100 calories per package or whatever. Think about putting that back on the shelf and substitute it with something less processed. And if you do want to limit your calories, the easiest way to do that is to drink water. And if you add some grapefruit oil in to your water, that will naturally decrease your appetite. Or even better, add in the Slim and Sassy, and that will actually increase your metabolism. If you are struggling with your weight, or even if you're wanting to maintain a healthy weight, you need to change the role of food in your life. So food should be enjoyable for sure. But let's remember what food really is. It's energy and nutrients. That doesn't mean that you have to be all clinical with your food. You just have to be smarter. Okay, so follow me over here while we talk about satiety, the feeling of fullness after eating food. When you eat, a bunch of things happen, and understanding those things will help you eat smarter. When you fill your stomach, it elongates. There are gastric mechanoreceptors located on the wall of the gut that measure the elongation of your stomach. This causes hormonal secretions. It modulates your fat metabolism, it regulates gastric emptying, and it influences the gut-brain communication that mechanically influences satiety. So when you eat foods that are both nutrient dense and low in energy density, you're going to trigger that feeling of fullness easier. So what does that mean? So the example here is if you eat 100 calories of kale, it's going to give you a greater satiety response than 1,000 calories of cookies, simply because it takes more physical space in your stomach. Taste and smell also have an effect on how full you feel. So there are studies that show that people who are tube fed do not feel full as soon as someone who is smelling, tasting, and chewing their food. So the longer you're exposed to the sight, smell, thought, and taste of your food, the greater the feeling of fullness. So I think that's really cool. And that's something that I learned when I was getting ready for tonight's webinar. So one very easy way to control your weight is to really enjoy all the aspects of your food more than you have in the past. So really take time with your food and just really dig into enjoying it. You know, enjoying that smell, enjoy that look. Think about enjoying your food, and you're going to feel full faster. Let's talk about dieting. So, did you know that dieting is a good predictor of future weight gain? So while the diet industry grosses over $25 billion per year in the US alone, $25 billion in the US alone, it is a terrible way to manage your weight. So let's talk about what you can do instead. So I know Steffi could probably fill us in on some of this. Number one is drink lots of water. Water will fill your stomach and help you feel full. Eat mostly whole foods. Whole foods tend to have more fiber, protein, and healthy fat naturally that will help you feel sated. So when you're eating foods that are rich in fiber or foods that are high in protein or naturally healthy fat, then you're going to feel full longer. And the foods that are more processed, if you think about it, so if you think about a processed food, it's already done some of the processing for you, and our body is designed to process our food. So if you eat processed food, you're taking away the processing that your body needs to do for digestion. So if you look at simple carbohydrates, they're in a form that is so easy to digest that they just go through you pretty quickly. Again, enjoy your food. When you move away from highly processed foods and toward fresh, organic, whole foods, your food really will taste better. I promise you. It's going to be better for you. And it's actually a bonus that it's not as fast to prepare. When you prepare your food, you're thinking about eating, you're thinking about enjoying that food, you're smelling that food, and that helps you feel full faster. Also, experiment with the timing and frequency of your meals. Surprisingly, it's been studied that breakfast is not the most important meal of the day like we've been taught. Intermittent fasting, which means compressing the hours in a day that you eat and going without the remaining hours, going without food the remaining hours, is beneficial. So what that looks like is, let's say you eat your first thing at maybe 10 in the morning and your last thing at 6 p.m. And then you don't eat anything from 6 p.m. until 10 a.m. the next morning, has been shown in a bunch of studies to be helpful for most people. Now, everyone's bodies are a little different. So you do have to kind of play around with it. That's why I say experiment with the timing and frequency. Another really key thing to your metabolism is getting enough sleep. Those who average 5 hours or less per night are 40% more likely to have excess weight. So a really easy way to not be in that 40% is to just get more sleep. Limit sugar and avoid artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners increase the risk of developing what's called metabolic syndrome. And metabolic syndrome basically just messes up all aspects of your metabolism. It makes it so that your fullness indicator doesn't turn on, that switch doesn't flip. And so you end up just not knowing when you're full, and lots of other things. It contributes to fatty liver syndrome and just lots and lots of problems with your metabolism. So avoid artificial sweeteners. When I say that, I think you all know what I mean, but let's talk about what those are. So that would be aspartame, or NutraSweet, or any of those other artificial sweeteners. Can anyone list off any others? I'm really not an expert.
Splenda.
Splenda. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Stevia, would that be one?
It's not an artificial sweetener. That is a stevia is an herb, and
Okay.
So it does not need to be processed to sweeten things.
Equal.
Equal.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So those little packets, those little blue and pink packets, avoid those. Avoid diet sodas. Those also are full of artificial sweeteners. Anytime you see 0 calories in something, then that's going to have those artificial sweeteners that are going to totally mess up your metabolism. Some foods that are higher on the satiety index. I was a little bit surprised by these. The first one is boiled potatoes. Cooked unpeeled potatoes are a good source of several vitamins and minerals, including C and potassium. Potatoes are high in water and carbs, and they contain moderate amounts of fiber and protein, and they also contain almost no fat. They're also very filling, especially compared to other high carb foods. Boiled potatoes scored a 323 on the satiety index, which is the highest number of all of the 38 foods tested, and nearly 7 times higher than croissants, which scored the lowest. Some evidence indicates that part of the reason why potatoes are so filling is because they contain a protein called proteinase inhibitor 2. This protein has been shown to suppress appetite. So I know potatoes have a really bad rap, but it's how you prepare them. So we're not talking about potato chips or French fries. We're talking about like steamed potatoes. The next one is eggs. Eggs are very nutrient dense. Most of the nutrients are found in the yolk, including the antioxidants lutein and a word that I cannot pronounce, and that may benefit eye health. And they're also a great source of high quality protein. A large egg contains around 6 grams of protein and includes all 9 essential amino acids. They're also very filling. It's been shown that if you eat eggs instead of a bagel, you're going to have increased fullness and less calorie intake over the next 36 hours. The next one is oatmeal. So it is fairly low in calories and it's a great source of fiber. It's particularly high in a soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which scores high on the satiety index, ranking 3rd overall. Generally, people feel more full and hungry after eating oatmeal compared to other breakfast cereals. And the next one is fish. So fish is loaded with high quality protein. It's also very rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential acids that we must get from food. Fish scores higher than all other protein-rich foods, including eggs and beef. Fish actually had the 2nd highest score of all of the foods tested for the satiety index. Soups are also really good for satiety. Liquids have been considered to be less filling than solid foods, but the evidence is mixed. Research shows that soups may actually be more filling than solid meals containing the same ingredients, probably because you're getting more volume. A smooth soup had the greatest impact on fullness and the slowest rate of stomach emptying, followed by the chunky soup. And soups are so easy to make. Oh my goodness. I use an Instant Pot. Makes it super easy. I just chop everything up, add some water, add a few seasonings, and throw it in there for 2 minutes on high pressure. And in less than half an hour, I have a really high quality, very low processed meal. Meat, high protein meats such as lean meats are very filling. Generally, people feel full longer when they eat meat. Vegetables, which of course are incredibly nutritious, loaded with all sorts of vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds. They're also high volume, low calorie foods. So they contain fiber and water, which bulks up your meal and helps you fill up. They also take some time to chew, so they're very satisfying in that way. One study found that eating a large portion of salad before a meal of pasta increased the feeling of fullness and reduced overall calorie intake. Legumes, such as beans, peas, lentils, and peanuts, have an impressive nutritional profile. They're loaded with fiber and plant-based protein yet have relatively low energy density. So this makes them very filling. Fruit is also has a low energy density and contains lots of fiber, which may slow down digestion and help you feel full longer. You do want to eat fruit on an empty stomach because fruit is digested faster than other foods. Quinoa is a high protein grain. So it provides essential amino acids and is a complete protein source all on its own. It's also higher in fiber than most grains. So that's a great one to add into your diet. And then nuts. Nuts are very energy dense, very nutrient rich snack. A study found that chewing almonds 40 times led to a greater reduction in hunger and an increased feeling of fullness compared to chewing 10 to 25 times. It is very important for your digestion for you to chew your nuts because they do not break down in your digestive system the way other foods do. Coconut oil contains a unique combination of fatty acids that are about 90% saturated, but they are the medium chain triglycerides. So these are very healthy for you and have an appetite reducing effect. So those are some foods that are higher on the satiety index.
I have a question.
Yes.
Uh, the boiled potatoes with the skin on, did it say anything about how that would compare to a baked potato with the skin on?
It doesn't. I imagine that it would be about the same.
Did it say anything about the type of potato?
It doesn't. It doesn't talk about sweet potatoes, which are a totally different thing. So we're talking about, I'm guessing like Yukon Golds or red potato, one that you would normally boil. I guess
Okay.
probably why, you know what, Janae, that's probably why they're talking about boiled potatoes because I don't think they're talking about russets. And those are the ones that usually bake. So the ones that you would normally boil would be the smaller with the thin skin.
Can I just add to what you said earlier about enjoying your food?
Yes.
Okay, so what she talked about how it's important to enjoy your food in order to stay fuller longer. That's really ties into also what she said about smell and taste and how food looks into also helping that, because that when you really taste your food, when you really smell your food, when you take the time to just sit down without any distractions, it ends up signaling to your brain that you are eating so that it knows that it should make you feel full. So it's signaling, your stomach signals to your brain, your tongue signals to your brain, your nose signals to your brain that you are eating, which tells your brain that you are full. So that's kind of what's up with that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a good point about the distractions. So many of us, especially when we're alone, will be reading or watching something while we're eating and not really paying attention to what we're doing. It takes some time for those signals to get to your brain. And so if you slow down and really enjoy your food and concentrate on what you're doing, you're going to notice that signal sooner. Yeah, thanks for that add-on, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Some supportive products for metabolism. Obviously, the Slim and Sassy blend, as well as the soft gel, is very supportive to metabolism. I was taking Stephanie and her sister to like river dance or something. I don't even remember what we were going to in Portland. I didn't have time to eat because I was buying my oils and doing all that. And so I received Slim and Sassy with my oils, and I was like, oh, well, this is supposed to help. So I dropped a couple of drops under my tongue. Normally when I get really hungry, I get really shaky. And when I skip a meal, it's not good. But by using the Slim and Sassy blend, I was able to make it through the show and back to our hotel with no problem at all. So that was impressive. The Slim and Sassy gum is also a great product to help with your weight management. Also, the trim shake is helpful, and the lifelong vitality. Highly recommend the lifelong vitality for just about any issue that you're having. Just a reminder that weight management is about lifestyle. It's not about short bouts of extreme dieting and exercise. You cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. You have to really pay attention to what you're eating, and not so much that you're like obsessing about it. That's not what we're talking about at all. Just enjoy really good food and be smart about it. If your weight is under control and you still need energy, then do a stress check. Stress will zap your energy faster than anything except maybe heat. Is anybody tired of these heat waves? I'm just like, the summer is crazy. But stress is really, really bad for your energy. Make sure that you're getting enough calories and nutrients. Add in the lifelong vitality, and if you're already using lifelong vitality and you still need some help with energy, try adding in the Mito 2 Max. That is a non-caffeinated energy stimulant, and so just a good thing to try. You could try a midday workout. Workouts help relieve or alleviate stress and anxiety. Taking a break from the work that you're doing will actually increase your productivity and wake you up. So lots of good things about a midday workout. And that really helps. So if you have like a 3 o'clock slump, just going out for a workout can really help with that. Another tip for increasing your energy is to just breathe. So many times we breathe very shallowly, and if you breathe deeper, then you're going to increase your energy. Also try going outside and breathing in fresh air, and that's going to recharge your energy and your mood. Eat smaller, more frequent meals can help with your energy. Another thing that is amazing is to get an aroma touch. Team up with each other. You can go to aromatouch.com and get the directions for it. This is the ultimate de-stressor and will help you relax and recharge. Make sure that you're staying hydrated and getting enough sleep. So, same recommendation for everything, always stay hydrated and get enough sleep. That's kind of the fix for most things. Also try taking a power nap. 10 to 20 minutes in the afternoon if you're feeling a little sluggish can really help. That's certainly my secret weapon. And some energizing oils for you to consider. All of the citrus oils. Any citrus oil you like is an energizer. Also the mints, the peppermint, spearmint, eucalyptus, basil, lemongrass, rosemary, and thyme. Those two go together, right? Ginger, frankincense, cinnamon, cedarwood, geranium, and neroli. All of it. Well, neroli is a citrus, so I guess that makes sense. Those are your tips for energy, and so that is what I've got for you guys tonight. Anything I'm missing?
The only thing that I'm thinking about, and this is just, again, to add on what you said earlier, when you're looking at ingredients, don't just look for sugar, because there's so many different names for sugar. I can't think of more than 2, cane sugar and high fructose corn syrup at the moment, but Google it. There are so many names. So it could say 0 sugar, but still have sugar in it.
One thing that I've noticed in the last few years is that a lot of organic products list organic evaporated cane juice instead of sugar. That is traditional table sugar is evaporated cane juice. That's what it is. They can be tricky. All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.